Okay.
All right, I'm calling the April planning board meeting to order. I actually want to just do the minutes real quick.
Okay.
Does anyone have any changes? Either to the Ethan summary?
What?
There's a lot of them.
Wait a minute.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Minutes are approved.
Oh, this is.
Okay, first up on the agenda is Esteem Properties discussion. Who's here from the? Who's from Esteem? Anyone? No.
Is that about parking the vehicles?
No, Esteem Properties. It's a warehouse over by the old Dillinger farm. So they're not here. Warren, I thought we were gonna, were they not coming? The attorney, was he not?
That's what-
Yeah, that's what I told you was. Sounded like it in that email. Why was it put on the agenda? Because of the
To discuss, they wanted to come and discuss the apparent violation letter.
The applicant.
Yes, the applicant.
So they should discuss it.
Yeah, but they don't seem to be here.
Oh, they're not here.
I don't know if this is.
You're here for
Are you?
scene?
I am.
Ah, okay. That's okay. You're from the scene?
I'm their attorney,
You're-
John Mackey.
Okay.
This is it. Did you start something else first?
No, this is, you're up first. We were
Okay.
just discussing if anyone's here.
Okay, great. I also have, I don't know if Mr. Hart is here or not, but there he is. It's propane safety guy. I'm anticipating that might be a question. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
up with these things. So we asked Mr. Hart to join us too, in case there's questions on that, because that would be beyond my area.
That's why I was wondering.
Oh, okay. When you said parking, I thought it actually was something else that it might have applied to. I didn't realize. Okay. So I don't know how we want to go over this, Warren. Let's talk about the situation and why the board has questions. I guess.
Yeah, we don't know. So you summoned us. I'm not exactly sure why we're here.
Well, I believe you received a letter of apparent violation from
We had a
the code
conversation-
enforcement.
spoke with the building inspector, and we couldn't really get a lot of detail about what you guys were concerned about. So
Were you able to examine the record and the minutes and all that?
do you want to,
And the resolution?
rather than me guess, why do you want to tell me what your concerns are?
Okay, so what happened was we approved a seasonal equipment storage business application for that location. Where and I do understand that in the actual resolution, it just says equipment storage.
Yes.
But if you examine the record, the minutes and the videos of those meetings, you'll see that it was repeated many times by the applicants and the applicant's representative that it was going to be boats and campers coming in, storing for the season, coming, obviously applying, it's gonna be stored and come in once or twice a year or a few times a year. And that was the equipment that was going to be stored in there. It was the public was going to have the inside and outside parking of these various recreational vehicles. The applicant was even asked at one point, we were discussing, was there going to be trucks or truck trailers coming on that driveway when we were discussing the DOT permit? He said, oh, no, just boats. And that was the actual applicant said that, the boats and campers. Once it started operating, and then intervening, just so we're all clear on what happened, it was approved. And then quickly after that, they amended the application to use part of the facility for marijuana processing. And that was approved, and that was fine.
Got it.
There's no issue with that. But then what it seems to have happened is that a propane And, you know, the other businesses that are Crown Gas.
Yep.
Are operating, I don't know if you want to call it a depot or whatever, out of there, where people bring, you know, the guys go to work, they get their trucks, they leave,
Yes.
and then at night they park the trucks,
Okay.
yeah, propane trucks and I guess, you know, the repairing trucks that go and install stuff, you know, it's not all propane trucks, I don't. And maybe oil trucks, I don't know. I obviously can't quite see all the way back there. Additional complication is that this driveway is shared. It's actually not shared, it's an easement over somebody else's property.
Yep.
The DOT, I don't know what the permit looks like, but at the time of the application, they were in part of the conditional, of the resolution was that they had to get the DOT to approve the driveway. And then sometime during intervening from then till now, I think it was like a year ago, Ed, when was it? When did all of a sudden they paved the apron? There was improvements made to the apron, so I don't know if the DOT showed up and said, hey, you gotta fix this, or was that based upon the original application usage, or did they see the fuel trucks coming in and out? So, you know, as a board, we feel that we didn't really approve this use. You know, this is, and then propane and fuel brings up hazardous, you know, conditions, concerns, et cetera. So that's why, and then we tried, I think Ed tried several times to talk to the applicant, say, hey, come and let's talk about this, and nothing happened, so that therefore the letter, I guess, Ed felt the need to send the letter,
Okay.
so that's where we're at.
Well, there's another problem.
But then.
Oh,
There was supposed to be a driveway maintenance agreement.
right.
That was signed by, the owner of the property and your client. I did take a look at it, unsigned, but it was made a condition of the, agreement that it be signed, and we received notification from the owner of the underlying property over which you have an easement that there is no driveway maintenance agreement, and that your client is violating that agreement by exceeding the easement area. So there are a number of problems with this property.
So I'm hearing equipment defined in the code. Of course, you know that there's a definition of equipment. I know there's information in the meeting minutes, but the resolution is what it is. There's an issue of the driveway maintenance agreement and the apron. You raise that as a concern as well. So there's.
Right. The intensity of use of the property in general was not what was presented or approved.
Are you offering our client the option of coming back in on an amended site plan?
That's what we've been asking this whole time. I mean, it's in the light industrial area. You know, as long as there's no issues, again, we'd have to hear the application with like the safety issues and all that. You know, that's the only kind of wrinkle in this.
Okay.
Otherwise, and then now this property.
Yep.
Easement thing is kind of, you know, it's obviously that's between two parties.
Right, because I say you let your counsel Warren knows, but I think it's one of two ways, right? Either give them a violation or we ask for an interpretation of from the ZBA on equipment and go down that route, or which I'm not saying that's what we want to do. I want to talk to our client or come back in with an amended site plan application. So I'll talk to them and I'll get.
And we want to see the driveway maintenance agreement.
I understand that.
And
the DOT approval. Yeah, DOT approval of the actual
Yeah.
things
Got
that.
that. Yep.
Yeah, that's what we kept saying. We just need to, you know, need to come back in to discuss and, you know, amend the application. If this is the kind of activity they want to do.
It is.
So
And it's not clear to me how the board didn't know that they were in the propane business, but
we did, but we asked them.
Them and that wasn't what they were gonna use.
in other words, you're saying they told you we're not gonna operate propane out of this property
Correct.
no,
whatsoever.
there's no, the definition of equipment storage is the principal or accessory storage of equipment, machinery and related hardware, etc. This is a propane truck distribution business that's going on there. And I don't know what the rules and regulations for these trucks are, but that would have been explored in a site plan special permit review.
Yeah, I suspect you
Never
want to
occurred.
know about that. So should we come back, which I'll talk to our client about how he wants to approach this, right? But if I'm hearing amended site plan, Mr. Hart comes back with me and we can talk about all that.
We did meet with, I believe it was the building inspector,
Yeah.
and I explained that as far as the fire code and NFPA 58, the LPPS code, that it comes under parking and what the setbacks and definition was. And
I
I
don't think
gave,
anyone is opposed to the business, I mean, but you have to kind of change
And,
and.
Yeah, go through the process and not just.
yeah, I don't on any of that, but just so you understand, parking a propane delivery vehicle is defined separately in the New York Fire Code and in NFPA 58. And if it's on the street, it's 500 feet when it's unattended for over an hour. But because it's all over doing business, when it's attended, it can be 10 feet away from any occupied dwelling. And in the application that we talked about, the distances are 50 feet after an hour when it's parked
So we'd
unattended
have to look at,
outside.
we'd have to
but-
see a
Right,
site plan.
right, yeah, we'd have to go
I
through that,
understand.
yeah.
I just want to say that we did have a meeting and we did talk about this. Gosh, I think it was almost a year ago. It's the second or third thing that goes, but
A meeting with whom?
With Ed,
With me.
Uh-huh. And did you tell him that this could be done there?
No, I didn't.
no, he didn't say anything. I just showed him
He just showed me what
the references for the propane because it's not as often studied or researched.
can you ask?
I think it was. Oh,
I don't think there's probably a direction for us now. It's a little more clear to me.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Well, we want to, let's put this on a short leash because I'm concerned about the safety issues. And the board is concerned with the safety issues about a propane storage area without any oversight by the town.
and how many cars
Technically,
go
you're
in
in
it?
violation of the code right now. So we're not permitted to issue any more permits. So
As a-
but again,
With
As a
all due
violation, there's a
respect,
notice
it's
of
not
violation.
storage.
we have a
Notice of apparent
provision in the code that if you're in violation, you can't get a permit for anything.
determined
Well,
by,
if you come back by the next meeting with an application and get this
Yep.
thing done and speak to Tom Angel, the attorney for the property owner, and get a driveway maintenance agreement.
sure, it's good to know that Tom's here. Most of the codes have that language in there. You can't come in if you're in violation.
Right.
I was just asking, am I not aware of a violation being
So the
issued?
violation would be that technically the truck should be removed from the property right now.
I'm sorry, I know I'm kind of beating this to death, but like. The violation is determined sort of right now, we're just thinking out loud that basically you just decided there's a
Well, you were
violation.
served with a notice of apparent violation, right?
Notice of apparent violation, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing as the notice of
Okay, that's what
violation.
I'm getting at.
That's just a term of art that
They can use.
is used.
All right, so next meeting is not a problem. I mean, I wasn't planning on waiting
Okay.
for months.
Yeah.
We just have to get it. I have to talk to my client. You're talking about a minute site plan. Maybe Tom, if you have a minute, you could go outside and I'll shut that. And I'll move it along.
Okay,
I can do my best.
to make sure nothing explodes there.
Yeah, in the meantime, safety, if there is that, you want to ask questions, Mr. Hart's here now, if there's something that would help.
When you make the application, submit all that documentation.
In the meantime, is there anything that's going to explode there?
No,
Okay, so we'll
it's the
see.
same vehicle that delivers to all of your residents' houses. And it's not considered storage because of the DOT standards that it has to meet. It's parking. It's defined in the code very clearly as parking, attended, unattended, indoor, outdoor.
How many trucks do you have there?
I don't know.
What, you don't know?
It's not
More
more
than one?
he's not, remember, he's just a consultant, he's not the client.
I'm their safety guy.
Well,
I know the code.
oh,
Are they, so they're empty or they're not empty at night?
They're by the code, they're never considered empty as long as they've got the hazardous material in them. propane.
Right.
As far as how they're filled, it would probably vary on the time of year and, the duration of the winter. And whether they fill them in the morning and then go do their out, or they fill them before they park 'em.
Where are they filled?
What's that?
Where?
At a
What
bulk
location?
storage, at a bulk
Not at this
storage
There's
plant.
no storage there.
No fuel storage there.
There's nothing there. They're
Just the park.
simply parking the trucks there unattended off the road and then picking them up and going to work.
Okay.
And it's clearly in both the New York State Fire Code and in NFPA 58, the Liquefied Petroleum Gas Code. It's separated out there clear as day. I brought the stuff if you want it, or do you want me to wait? I don't
Yeah,
care.
when you pass it when we have the application,
Okay.
unfortunately, you would have to come back here.
But it's important to understand, they carved it out because of its unique application. It has to go over the road, make deliveries to residents, commercials, industrial applications. It has a special niche in the fire code and NFPA 58. It comes under parking, and then it's whether it's indoors or outdoors, whether it's attended or non-attended. That's very clearly defined.
Where were they parked before they came to this property?
I don't know.
They have other properties in the county.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank you.
review. Okay, so I'm gonna get this
Yeah,
down.
sounds good.
We'll be back.
Yeah, hopefully the neighbors can work it out. Police got the. All right, so, next is HTWO property. Oh, Ethan, Redditch. Oh, yeah, you're okay there? We can make room.
Yeah.
All right, make that. I got all my stuff on the way.
Come on.
All right, come up. Yeah, here. There you go.
Well, it's just,
So everyone's clear.
I mean, why make the laptop when it can be a tabletop?
I love you. How are you?
Well, how are you?
So, what is the status? We believe you went before the, ZBA.
I did, Chris gave me the area variance granted by the, zoning board from last meeting.
Which one?
Yeah.
They granted the variance already?
Yes, I have the copies here.
Did we? Did
Simple that.
we please see?
So that,
Warren, they did the variance already, the ZBA, but we
I don't
didn't,
know anything about
we didn't, we didn't finish secret, did we?
it. No, what did he get the variance for? What was the,
Lot coverage,
wait a second,
does Warren have a copy?
the variance,
no,
yeah, it's a lot coverage. Variance. How did they do that without seeker being? Did they do seeker? Environmental review?
Whereas the proposed action is a type 2 action under secret and by law is not considered to have significant impact on the environment. And no further environmental review is required.
Could it be a type of,
Residential.
how is it, under what section of the law is it type? Can I see the resolution?
I have my copy here.
Wait a second, I'm just looking at the type 2 action.
So, did I mention secret ever again?
Declare the type 2, it's done. Assuming you're correct when classified. Here. Yeah, type 2 is like administrative,
correct?
that's it, you're good.
It's not type 2
I
action.
think for residential, if you're doing an area variance, I think it's type 2.
Yeah,
Not sure that that whole,
area variance for single family, 2-family or 3-family residents is type 2. Setback and lot line variances are type 2. But it's not commercial.
And there was no setback variance, right? It was just the area.
Well, you're gonna have to, do your own figure review that.
And we send it back to them, or we just use it, and no, worry about it. That's just. Alright. Okay, sorry, but that's just, do we have his copy back?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have we can print a
Let me
copy?
just see here.
Well, he's got it.
Alright, yeah, we can just talk about the rest. Do we have a new updated site plan?
I did more revision than I anticipated, in anticipation of getting in front of the board. As far as our last planning board meeting goes, as far as the foliage and the coverage around the edges, setbacks, proposed drive, some building layout, change some of those items that we had discussed, in the previous meetings. Does anybody have any specific questions regarding it? Since the changes they're minor changes, but
Why don't you just point out where you changed?
the westerly building there, on the left, if you look at the plan on the right side there, the proposal, we proposed, in lieu of a fence scenario, doing the, arborvitae down the west line there. The 10-foot setback the whole way. As well as on the north side where you're gonna see it from, Church Street there. The old driveway coming in, the plan shows the 2 big maple trees that are still standing there now. Kind of in front of where that mobile home was. We changed the easterly entrance there to the retail stand area. To show some landscaping there and to get more drainage on the site. Change the parking layout a little bit based on what's there.
Did you change how many doorways are in the middle building or no?
In the large one,
Yeah,
so I didn't go to design with that until I get my approvals to do the rest. I mean, I've just.
But you had, like-
Engineered again.
right, but you had like little.
I do have a proposal from the manufacturer that makes the steel buildings. And, I'd like to split the building, north to south with two hallways, like in thirds. And then additionally, in the middle, like halfway down, so there's adequate egress and doors and everything. Nothing too far scenario, but I haven't gotten to that. Finalizing any drawings on that, so we get through this portion.
Did you shorten the buildings and the impermeable surfaces on the back end, like by Jim and Sis's?
No, that's pretty much what we initially had
Oh, okay.
laid out, kind of the same layout as where the existing buildings are on the right there, the ones that are
Yeah.
standing there now. Pretty much the same
In
line,
line.
that'll all be seated down along there. What else did we change? Not too much, noted the handicap spots in there for the retail stand.
Did you determine whose fence that was back there?
I did not. I did not.
Or if there's going to be a replacement
It's
for a,
gotta be replaced, and I'll be taking care of it one way or the other, whether it's his or mine, I'll be taking care of it. So I've already kind of got that in the works. What else do we know? The handicap spots in there. The landscaping scenario. Did start the DOT process for the access. It's all online now. You gotta do the application online. So,
What was the decrease in impermeable surfaces now that you took out the driveway up here by the high school?
it was like roughly 7%, I believe.
Okay,
So,
and you said at the ZBA, you're putting French drains or something in
I am, yes, and they're shown on the plan there in the parking areas in the dark.
Where?
Dark.
this, that,
Yeah,
that,
yep,
that. Okay.
exactly, yep.
That.
And there's some existing ones out along the roadway now that we're gonna retain.
Is there a stormwater plan or like, you can see regulations?
I haven't done one yet, but I will note on the plan, yes, when I get to that.
Which normally, like for the review process, the design engineer would develop that. Because it's a permit that's required,
Mhm.
so it would have to be submitted, reviewed, identified in the seeker review that. That permit's there, just like the DOT permit.
This is not a SWIP, is it? Or is it?
It's an acre.
My notes indicate
It is.
the following were required. Lesson, the area variance for the lot coverage. The merger has, three lots have to be merged.
What if I was to leave them existing and not merge them? And put the plan in front of you without merging it, then am I gonna be required for a DEC?
The DEC is
A
required
DEC.
based on area of disturbance.
Yeah, that has nothing to do
Okay.
with the lots.
Yeah,
That has to do with there, yeah.
The
Okay,
EV station was supposed to, shown on the plan, I don't know if that's shown.
No.
There's an EV
Yeah, that's not.
facility. Needs a full SWIP, that's mine, because it's a disturbance of over 1 acre, and the farm stand is not permitted.
Well, we,
you call it
Maybe
retail,
retail.
it's just,
call it retail,
It's
not
what,
a farm stand.
What is it?
Retail.
Retail.
seasonal retail store is what when we talked about it last time. Or whenever that was. We change, instead of a farm stand, going with a seasonal retail shop.
If our zoning enforcement officer says it's permitted, that's what it's. They do.
It does.
And that portion of it does put the parking and the building itself does add to the coverage
Right.
scenario being an overage, so,
So does that still say farm stand up there?
no,
Oh, okay.
retail.
It says retail, okay, good. I couldn't make it out for me.
Does.
Is there a lighting plan?
Retail,
No, I have not done.
What's wrong?
what is he selling? I don't,
What are they gonna be?
I'm not sure, I'd like to see that in writing. Could you give us an opinion in writing to the board as to why that qualifies as a retail business? So we have that
Is-
I
already.
mean, we went
What-
through it
what-
last meeting. What all the definitions.
Yeah, why would it, if he's selling goods? Like, why, if it was, if someone was opening up a shop, like
He has to meet all the requirements for a retail business there,
okay. Which is,
and it's just a stand.
what's the difference between, it's a building?
Is there an existing building there now?
No, he's gonna
He's
build.
gonna build a farm stand, but now he's calling it a retail business, so it has to be approved as a retail business.
Okay,
So there has to be an application for that. What kind of business is it? What are you gonna sell there?
Food.
From what are you selling?
Food goods,
Huh?
yeah, farm goods,
From where?
Farm to table.
Where are they gonna?
local farms.
is it still the Red Hook people still in the picture?
I have spoken with her, yes, we'd like to do a fourth location, yeah. But I'm not, I want to be clear, I'm not basing my whole site plan request on that scenario. This is not what pays the taxes and that's not what I've been paying taxes on there. So if it's an accessory that suits the town's needs, then I'll proceed with it. It's,
So what did they talk
An
about?
opinion in writing as to why this qualifies as a retail business. We'll take a look at it.
What's the difference? What's
I
that?
think it was more the board's idea for this. than
Yeah.
The
I
applicant.
don't recall that. I have, in my notes, it says that it's an issue that needed.
Right, and then we spoke
You
about.
can't make that
We
determination.
didn't make the determination.
You know, we don't have the authority to make that determination.
We didn't make that determination. It was a discussion, Ed, isn't it just retail?
The board.
I don't recall that, but that's.
Okay.
I'd like to see the opinion from our zoning
Okay.
board as to why
Alright,
that qualifies.
So if you give that opinion, right, a building that sells food products is not a retail establishment?
I don't know. I mean, is it gonna be to have employees, does it have its own parking?
Well, that,
How does that relate to the rest of the?
Right, well,
I don't know, if you're the planning board, you're okay with it.
right, we talked about the parking that's right in front of it there.
The issue is that there was farm stand, farm store, farm market, and they all had specific definitions, none of which were exactly right for this.
That's
It's like,
correct.
you know, seasonal goods that are grown on the property, whatever, and
Right,
this didn't fit any of those
No.
descriptions, so it seemed like retail was the catch-all that was a valid description.
So we had an application here that there was a refillery in town for a while. It's not out of business. And they were selling local, like, goods amongst other things, from non-local goods.
And they went through ag and markets.
so you can open up any farm stand in Pine Plains, any place you want. If you're not growing the produce on the property and selling it at the farm stand, just by calling it a retail business?
Oh, okay, so what's the difference between that and a grocery store? God help me.
That's a grocery store?
Would you like me to read our
That's a grocery
definition?
store?
yeah,
Would you like me to read our definition of retail use? Would you like me to read our definition of retail use?
Okay,
Retail use, a commercial use where merchandise is sold to the general public for personal or household use or consumption, including but not limited to florists, lumber and hardware stores, pharmacies, grocery stores, convenience stores, stationery stores, bookstores, video rental stores. Clothing stores, department stores, shoe stores, and antiques. Is that the definition that you were using, Ed?
yes.
There you go.
So if you could just put that in writing and,
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like that in
determination.
writing.
all right, so.
Mhm.
What was I asking? Oh, the lighting plan, is there a lighting plan?
I haven't got to that yet.
Oh, okay,
No.
we're gonna have to.
Okay. Okay,
Uh,
to get approval, you're gonna need to see the lighting and its
Oh.
entire layout. The building layout and everything,
yes,
the floor
yeah,
plans and everything.
no, well.
Outside.
Exterior lighting. Yeah, just like when we did the,
Sure,
EV,
understood.
EV place, and those lights are great.
Mhm.
Those are, the right color temperature, downcast, all the things.
Mhm.
Uh,
I can implement them. I was more under the impression that I had to finalize my site plan approval through the planning board before I get to that process. I don't, does the lighting and all that have to be included for me to get told I can do it or I can't do it?
On the site plan.
on the site, to get the site plan approved, if you look at what's required in our code. It's, I mean, somebody's working with you with this, right? There's an
Yeah, I have an
engineer or something, I mean, he should be able to look at the code and see what's required on a site plan.
Mhm.
And put the things in that are needed. There are certain things sometimes that we can waive. And that's in the code also, but I mean, professional should be able to.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I mean, I don't think the board has any particular issue with, I mean, it's already in the use that's happening on, the property. It just, we have to go through the steps and,
Understood.
we did, obviously, one of the conditions is gonna be you getting the DOT permit done. I don't know, what else is missing? Anything
You'll
else?
need an engineered solution for the wastewater issue, I think, or
What wastewater?
the
Runoff.
water runoff.
Oh, stormwater.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
So that, the lighting and the DOT permit's gotta be in place to get approved.
No, the DOT, we can approve it with that as a condition,
Understood.
because might take longer than we will.
On the site plan, he needs the lighting and stuff on the existing buildings, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We
Know
should-
where that is, sure.
Yeah, we know
Okay.
where that is. the parking,
Yeah, the EV charging you had mentioned.
right, put that EV charging thing, all this other business is operating there.
Stormwater plan
Stormwater.
includes that parcel as well.
And the SWIP,
And if your intention is to replace the fence,
Yeah.
how high is it? What material is it? Whose is it? Is it?
Yeah.
If it's not even yours, then is it your problem? Who knows?
and then we have to set a public hearing, right? Warren? So. I'm sure, yeah, I don't know if their neighbor's gonna wanna come talk about,
I just had one for the ZBA though,
I know, I'm sorry,
so we gotta do another one?
yes.
Okay.
Because that's their process, right? That was about the area variance, and then it's, we have to be able to hear from. People, if there's issues they have with it or concerns or if they need to try to mitigate. I'm saying it, but the neighbor's like, oh my God, there's, this building's gonna be right next to my property now, like, he says he's gonna plant, whatever. Is there anything else I'm missing, George? Do you have a comment letter on this? What's?
No, I think we just did a verbal. Can I get an outline from the town, from the engineer, as the exactly what you want? That way I can, I can ensure that I answer everything and.
Yeah, sure.
I can, yeah. Thank you. You can write me.
All the useful resources.
Well, he's not doing any, yeah, so he's familiar, because when we did the EV station, he put in dark skylight.
Okay.
And I don't know if this would be possibly doable, but I want to make an ask. What about some of the other lighting that's already existing on the other buildings? Would it be possible to change those fixtures into the newer dark skylights? Would that be something?
Possible, absolutely.
That would. Be good. You just tamp down the spillover from the whole problem. All right, so Ed will get the letter to Warren. We're running that. George is gonna get a punch list, and have your engineer just check our code. What section is it, Ethan? Were you just in the site plan?
Stand by.
Site plan requirements.
Section 275-116. Terms defined for zoning definitions.
What, that's where it says like what's required.
Oh, sorry, that's retail use.
No.
No,
What's required on a site plan and,
oh, that's
you can
75.
ask for waivers and all the.
56, isn't it?
That just sounds right.
Sounds right. Is it right?
$275.66.
275, 60, 60-ish, 60 and a few after.
I'll just having.
So look at all of those.
Yeah, so, and then if there's anything particularly that the engineer feels that, oh, this doesn't apply to this. I guess you can, and that we're able to waive it, it indicates there what we can waive. But, we definitely want to see a lighting plan, parking plan. The storm, the SWIP, obviously is non-negotiable. But we could set the public hearing.
Technically, it's incomplete after.
A little, it's another,
Do we have a secret form, Brian?
oh, yeah, do we? What? Do we have a secret form?
You got your classify the action.
Those that I initially submitted with the application.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Did you fill out a short form, secret?
I believe I did, back when I did the original application. yeah.
Give it a review. It'll put in my comment letter if something needs to be revised.
Okay. So we can set it for next month then.
Technically, this one would be deemed.
All right.
complete.
All right, get those things and then we can set the public hearing.
Sounds good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so can we get a copy of the CBA decision?
Yes, Warren, we'll send it to the record.
And that, and what the ZBA has given me is done, correct? I'm done, everything's okay with that?
You're done with.
Yeah, it's done with the ZBA.
Purposes?
Oh, so, all right, so a seeker not determination, a seeker classification. So what is this? This is
Unlisted.
unlisted action. Okay. I mean, we don't have to vote on it, right? Just determine it.
And if you want. To make it super official.
Can I have a motion to declare this an unlisted action?
I make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
I,
All opposed? Oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so David, you're not voting. So David's vote not on, just Harry is sitting in for Dick. Sorry, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, that passed. All right,
So I'll get some sort of letter so I can ensure that I can
yeah,
answer any remaining.
yes.
Okay.
All right, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right?
Okay, next. Kate, and you is recusing and is going to go sit in the audience.
So we're gonna sit in the soundproof room or?
Is Chris on the thing?
Game or something.
Do you want to speak or is he just viewing? You can text it. Go ahead.
Great. We were here a few months back for review comprehensively of the overall site and the cannabis retail. We completed seeker for the overall site plan, and we're back tonight with additional technical review for the grocery store and the ice cream shop.
And and is this, by the way, just as a note, the way station, is that like the name of the place has changed to that, to the dispensary is the way station, or what's the way station?
I'm not sure where that, I mean, the way station is the building historically that
Right.
cannabis retail is in.
Okay.
Unless,
The nomenclature we use, I mean.
But I mean, the sign is on it, that says way station.
There's a sign.
So, okay, all right, I'm just trying to keep straight at the entities, so we go. All right, so you want to take us through the plan?
Sure.
Is this the current or this is the current?
so that's
situation?
the existing site plan. Let's have them. Sure.
This is this.
Here's the proposed. One thing that shifted since the last time we saw you folks is that the existing building, the large building that's proposed as grocery, we're not going to be able to keep that existing structure, so we're going to replace it with a new building. The ice cream shop's going to be renovated. That building will remain.
The new building will have the same footprint.
Similar, it's slightly larger. The existing building is 2 stories. This will be 1 story. It's about the same width and it's a little bit longer in length.
Do you know what the current square footage is?
I think it's the first floor is 76, I'm sorry, 6,700. Ish.
6,700 on
But
the
I had
first.
2 stories, so it was about about 12,000 square feet.
Which one again? The building it is, I'm the one with the office. I can't see her.
A and
Building A and building
See?
D.
Building A, building C, and building Z.
So.
Hmm.
So that's the dispensary.
yeah.
That's building B is ice cream.
Oh, that's
Oh, 3.
so these 3 are gone.
Ah.
So that's B and that's D, right?
B and D,
So A, D, and C are going away.
Correct.
and B is ice cream.
Yes.
Got it.
So the footprint is increasing, but the total square foot is going down.
Yes. Gross square footage.
So how does that work, Warren? 6,000 square foot footprint, 12,000 total, is our limit. They had pre-existing about 12,000. Did this have to go to the ZBA?
Wait, say this,
So currently, it's about a 12,000 square foot building with both floors.
all of them?
Is it all, is that all? No, that's just one building.
Building.
Mr. Mission, no, it was go to the, because they exceed the 6,000 square feet. Are
Right, but they have a pre-existing, but they're
stories.
So they're tearing these down and building a new building, how many?
It's all on page,
Yes,
C 101.
8,989
No, I
square feet.
just got handy. I can go with the unit.
You have to style.
And,
We submit ahead of time.
yeah, we have noted that variance is required for the max building footprint with 6,000 square feet being allowed in the HMS, and we are at 8,989 for the groceries.
Yeah.
But that's what I was asking. So it doesn't matter.
To action.
It doesn't matter what was there already.
No, if you're tearing it down,
It's a good argument for
it's not a non-conforming use anymore.
Okay.
It's just footprint, so it's just the first floor.
Okay. I was pretty sure. All right, so that's gonna have to go to the ZBA. All right, any other variances you think you might need?
Yep. And
It's under this, hold that one, actually.
Since. All in what grass is there?
That's good.
That's great.
Some bunch of different bonuses. That's good. Fire being used.
The layout.
Right, so, and of course, the ice cream bottle is fine, as far as that's concerned.
Just say, what?
Is anything, I'm looking at what is, okay, that's it. So is it the front, is all this gonna be paved, the parking lot now, as opposed to the gravel?
Yes, and yes, we're looking at stormwater. We were in the process of preparing a slip. We're over an acre. We're with our engineer.
We have no issue modifying our full tree garden, it's definitely to match it, he's slightly different number, but it's substantially the same.
Well, here's a question. I don't know, I don't want to say about did we determine what's happening with that catch basin or whatever? Is that?
George, this should be tied in with it, all the rest of the stormwater.
Right, so that if we approve this, then that won't be an issue anyway.
Yeah, the full SWIP should take that into account.
Okay. I had, I don't know, and how do we want to? I had a question about the dumpsters and like
Yeah.
because that looks very small and not near the grocery store.
Here, a layer was shut off on the master site plan, but yeah, it's supposed to be right, there's, yes, the dumpsters that we talked about, kind of behind we showed behind the ice cream shop, and then behind the grocery store, of course, there's gonna be dumpster enclosure and likely a cardboard compactor.
What do you mean by behind, like?
Right in that area where you see that bump out on the back of the building. Like there'll be a dumpster enclosure there as well. So that'll be included on the next submission, and the details are the same as same in concept as the dumpster enclosure that we're showing off with the ice cream.
And then that'll be accessible up to parking.
Yes.
There.
And how will trucks deliver? How will a tractor trailer get in?
Yes, we can show those, the vehicle turning radiuses on this, but that's what it's been designed for. So they'll come in that western drive there towards the end of Railroad Avenue. and then be able to back up towards the grocery store. And turn around and get out.
And relatedly, we have no issue providing that traffic study. The engineer that we work with do that very, very well.
And the traffic study will be not just Railroad Avenue, but where Railroad Avenue interacting with 82, correct?
Well, it'll be based on, the trips per hour and the,
So we'll basically tell you what the potential load of the parking lot will be, and then, yeah.
And what about pedestrian access? Sidewalks, crosswalk, etc.
Yeah, definitely can introduce a crosswalk. I believe the sidewalk's on the other side of the street. For most,
Yeah, so I mean, people are gonna be going from like the post office across.
yeah.
Which means they would need a sidewalk in front of their property.
Correct. And a crosswalk across.
Yeah,
that's no problem.
the concept is that, we have all the parking in the back, and this is what we reviewed with you guys when we did seeker and the overall site plan, but, all the cars in the back, and then the whole front of the property is pedestrian friendly. It's like a courtyard between the buildings where there's, if you scroll down to the landscaping plan, it starts saying, is better.
Yep.
Thanks. Well, to be honest, that's lighting, that's architectural lighting, this one, that kind of shows it better. So that's conceptually what we're looking at, is creating a green space between all of the buildings, and then in front of the main grocery, between that and Main Street.
And making a little connection between the grocery and the shop. And then a little space to have outdoor display towards the street.
And are these picnic tables here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a small shed, covered shed addition that we're proposing.
So there'll be seating outside of the ice cream shop, seating in front of the grocery store, and picnic tables, outdoor tables and chairs.
There was well, I guess it's not gonna change it. Subject, so I don't want to, does anyone have any more questions about the landscaping one?
Is there restrooms or anything in the way station itself?
There is currently a restroom,
Staff restroom.
staff restroom, yeah.
You'll be continuing to use that.
Yeah, and then the ice cream shop would have an ADA bathroom, and the grocery store would have another bathroom. Surprisingly, a grocery store that size is only required to have one, but you might put another one in, but that's what we have for planning purposes.
Yeah, but we're designing a new septic. There's a new septic out in the back of the.
The way station will be serviced by the leach field and
The way station
Yes.
will be connected into the new system,
Okay.
yeah.
Or at least plan to. We might want to wait until it. But yes, we're gonna have it. The capacity is definitely gonna be there to connect the way station to the septic. At the very least, which is,
The current way station septic is in the area of that outdoor seating. It's in
Gotcha.
that general vicinity, so.
Who's gonna be operating the grocery store?
It's being,
Great question.
it's a great question. Yes, I'm sure that's what everybody's question. It's being negotiated with a number of operators.
Any questions, Warren, you have? Do you have any questions?
No, I'd like a full EAF on this.
Well, we took a full EAF. Well, we're happy to submit it again. It has
Did it again, so
substantially
it's part
changed.
of this project.
Mhm.
When you came to it, like, I just have a question. We asked you whether you had any plans for this, and you said no.
Well, we did have plans for it.
No.
We said we had
No.
future plans for
Any,
grocery and ice cream shop. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what was approved. So keep the history that simple, but yeah, there was a little, trying to figure out what our plans were. Obviously Pine Plains had a closing, I'll put it that way. And so, yeah, all of that is coming together. This is development, Lord. I mean, come on. It's like, I don't think we hit anything from, we have an approved site plan with grocery and ice cream shop, and that's what we're.
Really?
And fully, yeah, all of those uses to be
Okay,
clear.
so
We actually asked several times, like, this is just a future thing, right? And then they said, no, this is happening within, relatively,
that's a
soon.
very short time. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're,
It's fine. I mean, the town needs a growth.
Can actually move quicker than government, you know?
Can we go to the lighting thing again? Where it's talking about the sign. Oh yeah, what's,
well, so that page, architectural lighting, that's because everything that's on the buildings. So that is, and then there's a separate page that shows the site lighting across the first. So
what's this sign backlight? So is it,
It's two lights full shielded facing the sun.
okay, so even says backlighting them. As a novice, it confused me, because backlighting to me comes from the back as opposed to.
Well, good. You're right. I didn't know if you was-
I just want to make sure there's no interior lighted sign. And where is this, is there gonna be a sign out by the street or just on the building or what's?
You see here?
Yeah, the exterior elevations will show the gardens, the sound of the buildings.
Yeah, but what's that one? See, it says sign backlighting out by the road.
Yeah,
What's that?
that's a monument sign out by the road, and then there's the sign on the ice cream shop and on the grocery.
Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna, the monument sign's not gonna have any sort of like
It's not
digital,
internally lit.
and no digital like
Yeah.
message board or something like that.
You mean like a firehouse?
The exterior elevation that. We're trying to.
Sorry.
It's not on.
Just saying.
All right, it's not in the ag district, but
No,
is there a farm within, doesn't it matter if there's a farm within X number of years, that only matters if they're in
A
a
field around there?
so it's,
Yeah, that on like golfer stuff.
yeah. But Duels is not in the ag district.
alright.
Lewis is not in the. What's happening with Railroad Avenue? Because that was my biggest concern the last time. It still remains a concern. I don't know what else you could do, but
I mean, we haven't really moved the needle too much from what we proposed last time, substantially the same concept, we just developed additional. Technical details of showing. How we're gonna accomplish the approved site plan.
the road has to be widened, right? That was something Carl said when we approved the dispensary.
What, then for the bigger plan, it would need to be one?
I don't even think it's.
For the dispensary?
In George's comments, I think he required to have. Highway sign off on it, water sign off on it, and the sewer department sign, or not sewer department, that's all right, so those two. I'm assuming that's it.
There's been some concern about the current driveway that's been put in as far as drainage and the effectiveness of the culvert and stuff, so I take it when. We do the SWIP or whatever, we'll come up with some sort of solution
Yes.
to address that.
Yeah, we're in the process of finishing the SWIP, so we'll have all of those details for. To submit to you.
I mean, the condition of that road. And what would you say it's like? Like, I mean, yeah, like. I mean, it's sort of paved, right?
It's paved.
It's paved all the way down
Yeah.
to that area,
So
to the
there's
second,
water-
where the second entrance would be?
I mean, again, that's for Carl to
Right.
tell us what he. He doesn't mean how he wants that
Okay,
road addressed,
We have that in writing.
what does he say?
and I did send it to Carl.
This was from the last application. Install a catch basin in the parking lot for water runoff, which I believe they did. A business apron for the entrance with minimum pipe under blah, blah, blah. Applicant must install no parking signs on both sides of the entrance. And should those requirements be met, the highway department needs to be notified in order to widen the road to accommodate the increase in traffic flow. So that was based off the last
We'll reach out to them.
application.
And there's no basement in the building?
No,
Same for the ice cream shop.
no basement.
We're trying to keep everything right at grade level. So it makes it easy to travel between the grocery and the shop. Those will both be at grade level. So yeah, we'll definitely just be able to slap on grade.
The water table's frustratingly close, as you probably realized already.
So that's another reason. What is it? Do you know? Like around here, like 2 feet, 3, not 3 feet.
I think 2 foot or something.
And isn't part of the property in the wellhead protection district or wellhead protection zoning? Right? Stand by.
That's cool. Is that even a component? Can someone edify me about what that is?
Can you pull up the zone, can you put in, Pine Plain zoning map? Get the one from Dutchess County, because for some reason they're this higher resolution than ours.
Sure. I'm thinking now I want to smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in. So the well is back there. For the pump, what is that? That's
It's just the pump station, not the well itself.
right, the pump station. Oh,
Sorry.
No, you can go down. It'll, the next page should have it too. Unless it's just the center.
oh, there we go. Okay. You found?
You can always,
Ah,
there you go.
so is that the very back of the, oh boy.
So that very, very small square on the upper right-hand corner of the circle, that's their property.
The small square, what about the rectangle?
Not the pink.
So those colors
It's on here.
correspond to the colors on the first page of our.
Yeah,
Those are the property lines.
it's this blue.
Oh,
circle right here.
okay. All right.
Which can someone explain what that is, the wellhead?
The wellhead protection. It's just a different zone and it has different, I don't know what. Ed, do you know like what the,
I don't.
What are the implications of?
Both of the town water pumps are back there, no?
Yeah, that's where the water, the building itself is, where they treat the water.
but it's none of their actual, so it's next to it, it's none of, it's that little square.
Yeah.
Which they're not doing anything with, right? So. Shouldn't be, yeah.
That is beyond, I can't tell. That is not where the leach field. or
It's this.
Sorry,
It's like
this,
that. It's like,
we got you.
Oh, is that,
that'll come up here.
yeah,
But this
Just right there.
little.
Gotcha.
And we couldn't build anything. We tried to put the septic there, obviously, not proposing that. It was just like an interesting place to put it geometrically. But it was too close to another wellhead. So we had to move it away.
Gotcha.
Well, there you go. Now you know, don't put anything back there. Solves that.
all right, so. Warren, what procedure wise, what do we need to be doing, anything?
We have to, just clear a unlisted act. I'm assuming it's an unlisted act.
We already did seeker.
Hmm?
We already did seeker.
Yeah, but you're coming back with a much larger project now. What is the resolution?
Choice.
This is like
Yes, we have the same.
What's the resolution? Say, I didn't. Put that as a resolution on this.
Can you pull up the resolution?
I see it.
Should we just go down the drive?
It's gonna be a thing here. Who wants it to go? Bye.
So we have a full EAF on file from November of 2025, yes, yeah.
And does that apply to this application?
Yes,
Well, we talked about at the time that they would have to come back for its technical.
Technical review.
The technical, yeah.
So if anything changes on the technical review significantly, if the board determines there's a significant change or right difference from what was presented in that EAF till now, then you would have the rationale to say, we need to amend this and reopen seeker. But if everything in your opinion is significantly the same, then, you know, you have the same rationale to say it's the same and it stands. So I guess, you know, you'd have to kind of gather all the information that you requested and you make a comparison.
We could prepare a summary that outlines the changes between the full EAF that you submitted last time and where we currently are, so you can determine if it's significant or not.
Could I see the resolution approving?
We're getting it, Warren.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. On the roads.
Page 3 of the full EAF, convert way station to cannabis dispensary with new parking, phase 2, interior fit out of building A and B into a grocery store and ice cream shop with additional parking and septic system. Tie in cannabis dispensary into septic system. That's on.
So that's convert building A.
To include the tear down, I guess that's the significant difference.
Yeah. But I mean, the building is a little bigger, but we can give you a summary to make that clear of like what, you know, in terms of the overall environmental impact of the board reviewed last time.
The building,
Where we've moved the needle a little bit.
the main building's bigger, but you're removing square footage off the property in the form of other buildings.
That's correct.
Because this is like storage buildings.
So is it a cumulative increase or is it roughly the same? Or is it a
I mean,
decrease?
I would say it's not substantially different, but we will, I
Think about it, it's like you, like as a board, we had to take a hard look at the environmental impacts. And then you were able to make a decision based on that hard look. Now, it's like the question of like, was that like look hard enough? Like, does it overlap like okay enough? Like, and in our opinion, I believe it does, but however you guys think about it, just because like substantially, if you look at the old plan versus the new plan, it's fairly similar. But like Christina said, well, we can highlight that.
we'll highlight it because I think that's, yeah, it's an important decision.
It's
Actually, it doesn't even classify that.
Until you're obliged to deny something, see really, then to go to. Again.
No. Can you scroll? Yeah, stop there for a second.
So you do that.
Keep going.
So you're removing roughly 3,000 square feet. Roughly, very roughly,
Yes,
and not adding 3,000 square feet onto the new building. It's less than 3,000 square feet.
correct.
That answers my question.
Yeah. Yes, one. Did you read?
So I see the seeker, so this is what the resolutions that you passed states. Whereas the site plans for the facility submitted by the applicant indicated that property may in the future be further developed to include an ice cream shop and or a supermarket within 2 other existing buildings located on the site. but that the plans for such facilities have not been developed to a point where they can be a meaningful environmental review of the proposed facilities in conjunction with this application. But the planning board has taken into account certain aspects of the potential future plans for those two buildings in its secret review of the proposed retail cannabis facility. Whereas the application has been referred to Dutchess County Department of Planning, which has expressed concern about future development of the site for an ice cream parlor and or a supermarket, but has agreed that the secret review and permitting of such future uses can be deferred to a later date when the development plans are fully developed and ready for submission to the planning board, with the understanding that the planning board retains jurisdiction to conduct an additional secret review of the facilities. I don't know how it can be any more clear than that.
Agree? Okay, so I mean, that doesn't really change what we need to do procedure.
Well, the problem is that it's got to go to the ZBA for variance. They can't do a variance until the secret review is concluded.
Right, but we do this all the time.
Are you gonna do
It
this?
goes,
We're gonna do,
it goes to them and then it comes back and then they,
well,
Can-
we're
yeah,
gonna
they-
designate this as an unlisted action. So it
okay,
can be an uncoordinated review. So the planning board, the ZBA can do its own secret review and you can do your own secret review. It's not a coordinated review. It's not like one action.
Determine though, I think what was written in that resolution was that when the plans are submitted for the future parts of the project, if they are significantly different than what was anticipated, what the things that we could anticipate, that we did our best effort at a hard look at what it would look like to develop the site with a grocery store and an ice cream shop. And I feel like we did a pretty good job because it really hasn't changed very much. The parking lot was anticipated at the right size. We did an initial, without being able to like fully engineer the septic because we weren't ready to do that part of the project yet. We looked at the area of disturbance that would require, and we're pretty much dead on what we said that we would need to do. So at this point, I don't see the need to reopen seeker because they're and I'm happy to outline, apples for apples, what all of those things are so that you guys can make the decision if you feel that it's a significant change. But essentially, this should be a technical review of the buildings, the lighting, the landscaping, the other parts of the project that we're proposing, not necessarily seeker.
I disagree. And the language is pretty clear that there was anticipated another secret review when you came in with those plans. If you had produced these plans when we approved the cannabis shop, then the secret review could have included
But then why would
review of this plan.
but Warren, then why
But you
would
came
we?
back a month later and now have revised your plans. You're tearing down the building. You're not retrofitting the building. There's got to be a secret review. I'm not saying that there's going to be an environmental impact statement, but the board has to do its job and conduct a secret review of the application.
Then why did we prepare the review, the full EAF in the first phase of reviewing the
EAF was-
entire, we reviewed seeker for the entire
Does
property.
the full EAF reference the fact that the buildings are going to be demolished and rebuilt?
No,
Okay.
but what's significant is the amount of disturbance and the total environmental impact of project hasn't changed very much.
Like as in the number.
That's your opinion.
Well,
But the
I'm
planning
saying
board.
it's the board should make that decision.
The planning board has a duty to conduct a seeker review and a site plan and a special permit review. The fact that you don't agree that it's necessary is irrelevant. The resolution was clear that when you came back, there was going to be another seeker review.
No problem.
I mean, what does it change fundamentally change in the process? As far as for you,
Just time and money.
I mean, it still has to go to the ZBA. So the fact that they can't actually. They just have to give us one of those like, oh, we're probably gonna approve it. Things.
Well, I mean, the EBA can do its own secret review, can't it? It's not a coordinated, it's not a type 1 action, it's not a coordinated review.
How come we did a coordinated review?
That's a little confusing.
We did a coordinated review with this.
No, you didn't, it wasn't a type 1 action.
Wait, doesn't it say that there? Where was it?
At the beginning.
Right, what does this say? Unlisted action and conducted a coordinated review. Does not say that.
Where did you do, how do you do a coordinated, coordinated review means.
I'm reading the thing.
You know what a
That was
coordinated review is when you coordinate the seeker review with all the involved agencies that are identified. So you've got to send out to all those agencies a notice of that you intend to be the lead agency, and they have the right to assume that they want to be lead agency. I mean, there's a process.
So we didn't do that?
We didn't do that.
Why does it say it there?
Well, we did it, but the ZBA wasn't involved. We did it with the Highway Department, the Department of Transportation, the Health Department.
And yeah, they didn't need the DOT because they didn't have any entrances onto 82.
Right.
Well, it does say that we did you do a coordinated review?
I mean, we coordinated with the highway department, the county.
And
We
the
did
plan-
not need the DOT because they were not doing anything onto the state road. And of course, the health department with the septic. I don't know. I'm looking at the resolution.
Did you?
Does that rise to the level of coordinated
No, we
review?
didn't do a coordinated.
Okay, so it's
So the resolution is.
Well, not the other.
Is erroneous in that respect because you didn't do a coordinate.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go get a variance, to be honest. We can build the exact same footprint and get a grocery store that's 2,000 square feet or more or less. I mean, it's just like.
It's not a big deal. You just fill out a new full EAF for this proposed project. And then the board will make a determination when it does a seeker review. I don't know what
and then so the ZBA just does their own secret.
And they can do their own seeker review. It's not a type 1 action.
Then now you're not even losing any time.
That's fine. I mean, the work's done. I mean,
There's money there.
I mentally disagree, but the work's been done. So we can resubmit it.
All right, so next.
Can I ask a question
Yes,
before we
please.
move on? If they're removing from the cumulative square footage of the parcel, and they're adding some, not all, of that removed square footage onto the new footprint of the building, then what the heck is the difference?
I think the keyword is footprint.
Yeah, it's something you
Because
can't
of
include the
footprint.
second story.
And you can't add the buildings for the footprint.
I'm not including the second story, the building in the back where the mulch used to be and the fertilizer and stuff that Jonah bought. And they're removing 2 of those buildings, which add up to a certain square footage. And they are adding not the total of what is removed. They're adding some square footage onto the main building. So the total footprint of the property is not increasing. In fact, it's probably decreasing, which she said she's gonna get us specific numbers.
The board would probably look favorably upon that.
But can you add the pre-existing footprints together to determine a footprint?
That's my question.
I thought someone answer
I
that.
don't see where it's addressed I don't know where it's really addressed in the code.
So that would have to be in the code, Warren, to allow that.
Or the
So
board.
what it's saying is that the pre-existing footprints of the 3 buildings combined is less than the footprint of the new building. But that would still require variance. Is that correct? You cannot add the pre-existing footprints together.
We have a restriction that the building can't exceed 6,000 square feet.
Yes, but currently there's more than that there.
You're tearing down the old building. So you've got a vacant lot and you're
Okay,
building on
so
that.
the tearing down,
A 6,000
so the
square foot
tearing down
building, which
resets
is
it.
not permitted by the zoning until you get a variance.
So the tearing down resets that.
Right. Once you tear it down, that's it.
All right.
It's not pre-existing.
So, all right, it shouldn't, but again, you're just going to ZBA, they're gonna do their own review and.
Yep.
And as you saw with the previous applicant, it probably will go fairly smoothly for you. Okay. All right, so what do we need to do tonight? We need to declare ourselves lead agency.
That's
And then unlisted.
So
I can I have a motion to declare ourselves lead agency on this unlisted action.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And you are, now David is voting this on, all opposed? It's unanimously approved. Okay, anything else?
that's it. You can't take any action until they get the variance.
Are we asking that they add a sidewalk in the front of the property?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that needs to be
We
delineated.
talked, we talked a pedestrian
clear.
plan and the sidewalk and the crosswalk.
That's all we got is.
And do you have like the proper application for the zoning board to give them?
I
should, I think I got this morning.
That's a compliment from you.
He sent it,
I should.
Ed sent it. to
Oh, you did, thank you.
Okay. So this interface with Trish to get on that agenda for this month, I think they can, right? So we
Yeah.
also-
Yeah, that's great.
And should we get an update from Carl about the road? It's not really a them issue at this
Yeah, it's
point.
in the letter.
It's in the letter.
It's in, yeah, we definitely need an update.
You need approval for the highway for. That's your.
They got that last time.
And I sent it to the office. So pending that, like. And I sent it to the word.
Okay, all right, so you guys have your plan of action.
Yes. Exciting plan. Yeah, they're cool. Everything that they want. Give them.
Yes, welcome back, Kate.
Shut up.
They can't call it a farm store though, right?
I didn't want to make it.
So, is this 7685, old Leah's. Pre-application preliminary discussion. So who's here from whatever hello?
Angela Song.
Welcome.
So,
Oh, Jesus.
You have any, you don't have a plan, is there no drawing or?
there's no drawing. I didn't put an offer in yet.
Okay,
I was asking the building inspector some questions and he asked me to just come here.
got it, okay.
So what it would be is a multi-use, venue. And I guess our biggest question was outdoor music and short-term rentals for, wedding guests. So what we wanted to do was change it into, instead of a restaurant, it would be more like during the week, bar with limited menu, and then weekends pop-ups with food trucks, caterers. That still could be adjusted. We don't really have a plan for that because we don't have a chef. And then have events on weekends, either inside and also incorporate the outside with fire pits, cornhole, make it almost like a little outdoor resort, outdoor kitchen, outdoor bar.
Outdoor kitchen,
Yes.
like a grill or something.
Yeah, like refrigerator, grill, to be able to make food outside, serve food.
What,
Where are these short-term rentals going? Okay.
So we were thinking the end of the property,
You call that a
towards
parcel act.
towards like the cornfield.
So west side.
Yeah,
There's a cover letter with that application also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give just explanation on.
When we see the lot,
Yes.
We were talking tiny houses, if I recall.
yeah.
So that would be run would effectively be a hotel, right? If they're renting out places to sleep.
Not really, we'd really use it just for events.
Okay. Okay, I don't know what.
That's
I
mean, that's.
That's a good question.
Seems like,
Yeah,
Short-term rentals are in our code, right?
but that sounds like an Airbnb to me.
They have like camps in the code too. There's like some other things in there that maybe this could fall under. So
It was, what do you mean by short? So it'll be like run through Airbnb or something like that, or it'll be like a more like a hotel?
I think it'd be more like a hotel where we would, if people come have an event, their guests would be able to stay there, or let's say a bridal party. People wouldn't have to be
Even like
driving
Hutton
off-site.
Yeah.
like
In
what?
Kingston, Hutton Brickyards in Kingston. They have like little
Place to stay.
studio.
Right, yeah.
Little.
Have you thought about how many rooms or bungalows or whatever?
Well, I mean, obviously, the more the better to help us pay our mortgage. I was like thinking maybe 5, if I could do 6, that would be even better.
So if you want to just point on the map where you would think.
Yeah, so it's the left-hand side.
So all the way back in the cornfield.
Yes, yes.
Did you want to walk up?
Is that in it? That's.
Sure.
So there's a complicating factor with this property, and it's that half of it's in the Main Street zoning,
And the back end is.
is in the
This is what
CR,
I was thinking.
right about where it splits, kind of next down,
Right,
is basically where the split is.
it's in the CR.
Yeah,
How
So,
does that work? So you're in different zones.
It's the same thing.
it is, but it's 2 different zones.
yeah, that can happen. So CR is hotel allowed in the
I don't know. I have to look that up. It's pretty restricted.
So that might be a problem. And is that? It's the ag districts too? Is it, I mean, it's got a farm, literally has a farm on it.
No,
It's not in the ag.
no. It's
Do you know?
surrounded by
Warren,
the.
the answer to that question already? Restricted to have that many rooms.
Okay,
Yeah, if you look at the code.
okay,
All
right. yeah,
Majority of the property in the. District.
I figured I'd ask them.
Right out.
Oh, I don't know, is that a thing? Government making sense, what are you crazy? I'm crazy talking about
That
that.
has to be one guideline for how to. deal with that.
Strange lines are drawn on the back.
So,
There'll be an oversight to drawn.
So lodging,
Lines are not included that pre-existing.
it's not permitted in.
It's
Yeah,
it's not,
Right.
being when the zoning.
What?
Yeah. It's an oversight there. It should be in the
There-
entirety of it
Yeah.
in the main street.
That.
Can we keep doing it? Is there a list? Who's in the list?
well, remember, we changed a lot, of those, right?
I
Where.
know, I thought we had made it so that it was everywhere, so it's strange to hear that we missed it.
All right, where did you go? Did you go off of parcel access or you looked at the map?
Both.
Oh, the county map has it.
This stand by.
But does that mean that you could?
Yeah, because there was a discrepancy recently discovered for,
Yeah, on the front part.
there was a
Might
discrepancy.
just be more restricted.
That's off of the county site.
Yeah,
And that long jut out is the property.
Yeah.
So it's split.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a hotel.
That's it.
No, it's not permitted at all.
Well, I don't know if we just had to make it. I think it's more like a.
You have to show,
Symbol.
so Warren has, so there's no, because the back end of the property is in a different zone, nothing changes because the front half is in a different zone, right? You can't, I mean, that's it, it's just that. When you have a property
What
that's
they're
split,
doing permitted in both zones.
no. It's not, it's only permitted in the front zone.
In the front zone.
Yeah, the one that, where Leah's is, as opposed to the cornfield.
There's probably something on our zoning code about bifurcated zoning, but I have to look at
Yes.
it.
Yeah. So there's a high chance that the lodging will not be allowed on that back lot. Unless we would have to look in the code
Okay.
to let's see if there's a exception for bifurcated the property.
Usually there's a provision in the code and codes that say the more restrictive zoning applies, but I don't know if we.
More restrictive.
Of course.
So what if I said we could move them up to where the grass is?
That would,
That's what we're trying to figure out.
right, in the zone where they're allowed.
Yeah.
That then puts it in the Main Street zone and it's special use permit.
So that's, unless it's this thing the warrant's saying, right, that'd be crazy if that's. So if they move the lodging into the Main Street zone. Closer to Leah's. You know, in that part of the zone.
Yeah, but would the other part of the property be used for the lodging, part of the lodging?
No.
No.
Oh. You would need it probably for the septic field, probably.
Yeah. Gonna be all one use.
So you couldn't put the septic field on that if it.
You could have the septic for Hamilton, go the other way, right? It's a lot of space there.
Depends on-
So
what are
if we
these?
change, what would be the,
Well, they could do that, right? They give it to the town board and ask for zoning to fix the zoning.
You can, it's not easy to get, but they could ask, you know.
They did it for the Dutchess when Dutchess the distillery was being built.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Does CR zoning allow parking?
What's that?
Can we make parking lot
You park in
CR
the
in
back.
the CR zoning? In the restrictive zoning area, at the back, can that be parking?
But it would be parking for use in the Main Street.
Yeah. So,
This is a ridiculous problem to have with this parcel.
yeah, it's
Yeah, it is.
really.
We empathize.
Oh, also, that's not like prime soils. That's right. That might be prime soils. We'd have to, you're gonna need someone to, obviously experts to work on this for you, but you gotta make sure that it's. I mean. George, how restrictive is that? That is some sort of.
Well, it comes up, especially in seeker, but yeah. You're gonna need a survey, you're gonna need engineering plans, we need to see, stormwater, lighting, where are your cabins gonna be, where's your wastewater going? Let's go to DOT. Or about
Yeah.
trips and access, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Is the short-term rental thing integral to your plan?
Yeah.
That's something to consider.
yeah,
That's a,
okay,
yeah.
Or something.
yeah,
Are they full year round types of
they would,
places?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of buildings would they be?
It would just be tiny homes, like one bedroom.
I can,
Basically, because.
Got
of
ones from
fence-
Dale across the street.
Fences, you have people come, people drink, and you don't want people driving. There's also a shortage of rentals in Pine Plains. So by not having short-term rentals on premise, you will be adding to long-term rentals being turned into short-term rentals because there's going to be a pull for it from the community. So it's a little helpful to the community by maintaining short-term rentals and not taking away from long-term rentals by switching them over. And it benefits the community by not having people leave the premises after they've had a large party.
That sounds like great arguments to make to the town board.
Do we have a short-term rental law?
We do not.
Haven't been up permitted.
Right, so basically,
CD?
we have a hotel, we have.
There's lodging.
Oh,
Lot,
So,
yeah, that would be a lot.
the,
And you have Airbnb already, correct?
Then
the business district.
We don't have a Airbnb law,
You don't have that yet?
no,
Main
It's-
Street.
there are Airbnbs here,
And then every.
it has been discussed, but the consensus was we did not want to be over restrictive.
Too.
Although there was concern for losing losing rental stock as you do Airbnbs. But that seemed to be not a pressing, once we surveyed and kind of figured it out. The one thing that people did put concern on was they talked about companies that come from outside and buy like a red cottage or whatever and like own a whole bunch of
Right.
but then it kind of abated. Like I know some of the Airbnbs that were here like converted back to like sold, or they weren't there's certain niche ones that apparently do very well. Anyway,
Where is the zone bifurcated? It's right in the middle?
Just about where it necks down there, Warren.
yeah, see where that bend is? Yeah, like right there. Right there.
And where
Yeah, the town board might consider a rezoning of that.
Yeah, that's our,
where does the line roughly come across?
Yeah, when you're talking about a bifurcated lot,
No, but where does it connect to
and
this?
you've got a use that.
Oh, it doesn't.
and not only that, Warren, but it's like the surrounding lots rural.
Yeah, no, I mean, that.
We missed that.
They may be able to make a compelling case
Well,
for a,
It's like when the map was done, like the property out that Adams owns out by, out past, the old Ford dealership, the front of that is, Main Street district, but that's a big lot. That's like 100 acres he's got. So it looks like this was just cut the same way.
Must be an oversight.
And it should be, yeah, probably.
I thought we went after all.
So, to could it have been transcribed in correct ways?
Very possible. Again, we just found the whole,
Possible that it already is.
well, the map is the one that.
This is updated.
So how would I find that out? Because I haven't put an offer on this yet, because I'm gonna.
No, the map,
Let's.
we just looked at the map and the map is what, you know, is the. What happened was. Some of the map did not get translated into the parcel access system. So there was a thing in front of the ZBA and there was this whole thing on Birch where the changes that we made were not put into parcel access. And then, which is now in parcel access, but they don't show in parcel access because they don't do their data update until like May. But anyway, so the best bet would be if you want to use the whole property for, the back part of that property for the shorter is to go to the town board, one of the town board members here, Kevin, so you can have our liaison and however that process
I
works.
think we did that for a property years ago. I seem to remember. Were you on the board at that time? Yeah.
But they were suggesting it was
I'm
the
trying to
For the
remember.
distillery,
spirits there, Dan Adams' property.
Was it that? Yeah.
Mm.
No. So, but they wouldn't rezone it unless they knew for sure this is gonna happen. We're not gonna rezone it and you walk away.
Yeah.
It should be, to my opinion only,
Should be
it should be
rezoned.
rezoned anyway, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So
Okay, and then what about the outdoor music?
we have no noise ordinance in our town and there's already an outdoor music venue, in the middle of town.
Okay.
And there have been weddings at Leah's in the past, and definitely.
But we could impose hours of operation.
Right.
Ones in,
Yeah, it'd be a seeker issue during review.
it's like literally as little as studio.
Okay.
I mean, like a one
Right.
bedroom.
Got it. Yeah, we would probably impose, there is, with the current venue, there is a gentleman's agreement of when they are supposed to shut off. But we would probably put a strict limit on when the outdoor music would have to stop.
Okay,
That's allowed.
all right.
So would you stop what you're doing? Are you doing another season of what you're doing at?
Yeah, we're gonna try and do both. So we'll see. I think eventually, we don't own the barn that we run right now. We just want our own place.
So it's, they're meeting, next week's your meeting, right? Kevin?
Thursday, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
You might want to get information to them before then if you want
yes,
them.
definitely.
I'm actually gonna.
Maybe during.
Okay, great. All right.
The
Yeah.
other parts of the proposal, are there any concerns about having things? Angela really likes to do community style events, so things like flea markets, farmers markets and things like that, outdoor pop-up activities comes in for.
The food truck is not a problem. Or there's some sort of head would be the person to talk about with that. What, are there any restrictions on any of those things? No, on private property, a flea market.
No, not that I know.
Well, they'd have to.
You gotta get a peddler's
We'd have to give them a retail, the laws as they're written don't work. For farm stands.
Pretty much.
No,
It's retail, right?
Retail.
He did get a peddler's license from.
so that would probably be doing what I said.
Okay,
That's not us.
Was actually manual.
Okay. All right.
all right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right.
Yes.
And for that stuff. Mark, well, we already did the minutes. Is there anything else, Ed, for us?
No.
Anyone have anything to ask Ed about or as usual?
Did you want to go into returning?
Yeah, so, I'll get, yes.
Want
I
to
do.
just do it here when people?
Yeah, we're just gonna send anyone out. No, no one has any questions about anything. Good. All right.
No.
All right, so next is so George, we're done with you. Yeah, Ed, we're done with you.
Have a good meeting, Jake.
We are going to, I need a motion to
What's that?
adjourn the meeting and go into attorney-client consultation.
So moved. Second.
You can do it, or you have to adjourn the meeting.
We don't have to do that whole adjourn thing like when because
The meeting's done.
yeah, the meeting's done.
Yeah,
So,
just wait,
Yes.
everybody leave.
motion to adjourn? What's that?
All in favor?
Do we have Eddie or any of,
No, we don't.
okay, great, aye.
All in favor?
Aye.